There we go. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our Zoom tonight with Dr. Covert. She's going to help us learn some new ways that we can do physical activity at home. So for those of you who don't know Dr. Covert, she works in the Health, Human Performance, and Recreation Department at Pittsburgh State University here in Kansas. In the past, she has been a personal trainer. She's been a group exercise instructor and a wellness coordinator at wellness centers. And she also specializes in older adults and athletes, especially. So thank you. Everyone say thank you to Dr. Covert for joining tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Covert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dr. Covert, tonight we have Health Messenger Luke Pratt with us, Health Messenger Tyler Griswold with us. Lynna Hodgson is a Health Messenger from Special Olympics, Missouri. She subbed in for one of our Health Messengers tonight and did the bag toss demonstration. Then we also have Health Messenger Jennifer Jennings with us, and Anita and Tavrik are also here with us tonight. So let me get your PowerPoint pulled up here, Dr. Covert, and then we will get started. So, go ahead, Dr. Covert.
All right, I'm good to go.
You're good.
Okay.
Can you see the screen?
I can see the screen, and I'll just give you the cue when to change it.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. Well, once again, thank you all so much for being here tonight with the webinar Physical Activity at Home. And hopefully you all will be able to take away at least one new thing from this webinar that you can do at home while being physically active. So let's get on to the next slide here, Jesse. So Jesse already talked about most of this stuff here that I teach at Pittsburgh State University in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And within the Health, Human Performance, and Recreation Department, I specifically teach what's called therapeutic recreation. And therapeutic recreation is basically teaching students to use things such as physical activity to help keep people healthy and overall. And as far as my time with Special Olympics, I think I've been collaborating with Special Olympics Kansas in one way, shape, or form for at least five years or more. I've collaborated with a lot of our local programs here in the Pittsburgh area, but then starting to really do a lot more with the home office up in Kansas City as well. So just a little bit about my background here. But let's go ahead and get started and talk about what we'll be covering tonight. Thanks, Jesse. So first off, we're just going to talk about the basics of physical activity and some of the benefits, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and understanding what physical activity really is and some guidelines associated with physical activity too. Then we'll get into tips and tricks for physical activity, and that will include talking about different ideas and equipment around the house that we can use to incorporate into our physical activity. But then also that's where we'll get into the different games as well and be showing videos of those games too. Then I will be including resources for physical activity. So just a couple of resources that I have found very useful when looking up information for physical activity and how to be physically active at home as well. And then if there is any time, if any of you have any questions, we can get to those as well. So let's go on to the next slide. Okay, so physical activity 101, the definition. So to make sure we're all on the same page when talking about physical activity is any bodily movement resulting in using calories. So when we're walking, when we're cleaning the house, when we're vacuuming, doing dishes, when we're jogging, playing basketball, all of that can be included in physical activity. Sometimes people think that exercise is the only way to be physically active, but that is not true at all. There are so many ways that you can be physically active throughout your day. In the pictures here, we've got on my left screen, the little boy who's looks like he's getting ready to roll a volleyball or do some bowling or something. That's one example of physical activity. The other picture there on the screen, we've got some kids who were throwing some Frisbees and they're jumping up and down because they just got the Frisbee into the basket. That's another simple way to be physically active. But also, can you go back a slide? Thanks, Jesse. So since we are talking about physical activity, I thought that we would kind of start this off with doing some if you guys want to participate in this. All right, it's going to be something pretty simple, easy. You can do it in a chair, you can do it sitting. If you want to do it standing, you can. If you would rather watch, that's fine. I'll do it by myself. I'm used to my college students just looking at me like I'm crazy. So we're going to just do a little bit of physical activity here to get started. Something really simple you can do while you're watching TV, while you're, I don't know, waiting for your cookies to finish baking, whatever you may be doing, but something simple you can do during your day. So first, again, if you want to join in, you can, or if you just want to watch, that's fine too. And you won't be able to see my lower body, but that's okay. Jesse, I expect you to participate. All right.
Oh, I will be.
Okay. So first, we're going to raise our left arm up in the air. So we're just going to lift our left arm up in the air high. Very good. So when we bring our left arm up, we're going to raise our right foot. So we're going to lift our right foot up. So I'll just take it on honor you guys are doing it. Good. So we're going to bring that down. And now we're going to lift our other arm up in the air and lift that opposite leg up in the air as well. Perfect. And bring it down. So now let's do that 4 times. So we're going to lift one arm up in the opposite leg. Good. And we bring it down. And now we switch and bring the other arm and leg up. Good. And bring it down. And now we switch. Other arm and leg up. Good. And then we switch. Other arm and leg. Bring them up in the air. Perfect. And back down. Now we're going to add on to that one more movement. So we're going to reach one arm right in front of us. I can wave at the camera. So reach one arm forward and kick that opposite foot out in front of you. Perfect. And we're going to bring those back in. Now we're going to switch arms. So we're going to bring the other hand out. You can wave at the camera if you want to. Good, good. And kick that other foot out and bring it in. So we're going to do that 4 times. We're going to reach and kick 4 times. So let's begin. So reach and kick and in. Good. And switch. Reach and kick and in. Good. Switch. Reach and in. And last one. Reach and in. Perfect. So now we're going to do those 2 movements we just learned all together. We're going to do 4 reaches, and then we're going to do 4 reaching in front, and we're going to gradually pick up the speed a little bit. You guys ready? Okay. So let's reach up high and lift that opposite leg. So let's reach and down. Good. Now switch, reach and down, switch, reach and down, switch, reach. Now let's reach in front and kick. So we reach in front and kick. Good. And switch, reach and kick and switch. 2 more. Reach and kick, switch. Good. And now let's reach it up high. Let's reach up high and switch arms. Reach up high. Good. And switch. Reach high. Good. And switch. Reach high. And now let's reach in front and kick forward. Reach in front and kick. Good. And switch sides. Reach and kick. 1 more each side. Reach and kick. Reach and kick. Very good. Okay. So while we were doing that, did anybody's heartbeat or heart rate raise just a tiny bit? All right, good, very good. So that's one simple activity that you can do to be physically active. And you can do whatever movements you want. You can flap your arms around for all I care, but just a simple way to add physical activity into what you're doing. All right? Okay, thanks for participating, guys. So let's go on to that next slide. All right, so here I just have some guidelines. I just wanted to talk about guidelines and talking about, well, how much physical activity do we really need in a day or a week? So this slide specifically relates to kids. And this is to ages 17 because 18 will be considered an adult. So for kids to the age 17, it is recommended by the Centers for Disease Control, who helps to establish these guidelines, that children get 60 minutes a day of moderate and vigorous aerobic physical activity. So when talking about moderate activity, something that we just did, the arm raises and the kicks, if we started going a lot faster with that, that could be considered moderate physical activity, because that's where our heart rate starts to kind of beat a little bit faster. Maybe we kind of start to lose our breath a tiny bit, and quite possibly we might start sweating just somewhat. So moderate is something as such as we're out for a walk, maybe we're walking a little bit faster, depending on the surface that we're on, possibly wheeling oneself in a wheelchair. If we're going over hills, then that could be something considered vigorous. Playing softball could be considered moderate depending on how hard you are working when you're playing. So when we talk about vigorous aerobic activity, that's something like playing basketball when you're running up and down the court and your heart rate starts to go pretty fast and you start to breathe a little bit heavier and you're thinking, whew, I don't know if I can run up and down this court for 30 minutes, right? So that's where our heart rate really starts to get higher and we might start sweating a little bit more and breathing harder. So that's the difference between the two. But for kids, 60 minutes a day. We also want to make sure that kids are doing muscle strengthening exercises 3 days a week. So examples of those exercises are things like body weight exercises. So push-ups, either doing push-ups from the floor, doing them from the wall, possibly to something like squats. So as if you were going to be sitting down into a chair, but right before you sit down, you stand back up, something as simple as that. Also for kids, playing on playground equipment. So I don't know if any of you did, but I really liked going on the jungle gym and the monkey bars. If that's still a thing on playgrounds, I don't know. But things of that nature, playing on the playground equipment are ways that kids can help increase their muscle strength. All right, let's go ahead and move forward here. Okay, now adults. So adults are for individuals 18 and older. That is the age group they're looking at. And for adults, it is recommended that we get 150 minutes of moderate physical activity a week. So that's just about 20 minutes a day, every day, 7 days a week. And again, that would be something such as going on a fast walk, playing softball, if we really got into it with those arm and leg movements that we were just doing, something of that nature. Or you could do this for 75 minutes of vigorous physical activity a day. So that's about 10 to 12 minutes a day for 7 days a week, to where you're doing something to where you're starting to breathe pretty hard and your heart rate is really starting to get up there for you. So again, things like jogging, playing soccer, playing basketball with those sprints and whatnot are just all examples of that vigorous aerobic activity. But you can also just mix it up a little bit, and maybe one day you just want to go out for a nice walk around the neighborhood, and then maybe the next day you decide that you're going to go and play basketball and run up and down the court a few times. All right, so you can combine it to get those minutes. But those are just some guidelines that are recommended by the Centers for Disease Control. All right, thanks, Jesse. We can switch it on over. Okay, so also for adults, it is recommended that we get at least 2 days a week of strengthening exercises. So those muscle strengthening exercises, those examples can include something such as, I know Special Olympics has powerlifting. So powerlifting, of course, is an example of muscle strengthening exercises. To strengthen your muscles as well, you can use something such as resistance bands. So something that may be similar to this, some of you may have used these before, or also resistance bands with the little handles on it that look like this too. So some examples of the resistance bands that you could use, but then also too, doing body weight exercises. So doing the squats, the push-ups, lunges, things of that nature to help increase your muscle strength. But also thinking of it in a fun way, in the picture I have on the screen right here, it is a picture of a group of people playing tug of war. So in tug of war, does that require muscle strength in order to pull the rope? Yeah, it does. So that's one simple way that you can, if there's a game of tug of war going on, you can hop on in and increase your muscle strength at the same time. But I just wanted to show there are other ways that you can help increase that muscle strength. And then last but not least, stretching. Stretching every day is important. When we stretch and when we're physically active, it helps us to be able to reach that item that's on the top shelf in the cabinet. It helps us to reach down and tie our shoes. It helps us to do activities that we do every day because it helps keep us mobile and limber. So just keeping those in mind as we think about the physical activity that we want to do. Thanks, Jesse. So the benefits, I'm sure most of us are already familiar with the benefits that are associated with physical activity, but I like to put them in there just to review, hey, physical activity is great for everybody. So as here, as shown on the screen, physical activity can help lower the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and obesity. So some of those chronic diseases that we could get because we're not very physically active, being physically active can really help lower the chances of getting some of these diseases. As I talked about earlier when I was discussing stretching, it can help to increase the ability to complete daily activities. So again, the more active we are, the more we're moving out and about, it can just help us to remain independent. So it can help us to get out of a chair a lot easier. Again, helping us to tie our shoes, reaching that top item on the shelf, doing things that we normally do on a regular basis. If you're a gardener and you love to garden, it's going to help us carry the bags of soil from point A to point B. So again, just keeps us a lot more mobile and healthy overall. And last but not least, again, there are many, many benefits. I'm just putting some of them out here. It helps to improve brain health. And so when we're moving our bodies, we're working our brains as well. So my question is, when I had you lift one arm and your opposite leg, do you think your brain was involved with that? Yes, yep, very good. It was, because we had to tell our brain had to tell our body, okay, you're going to lift your left arm, but you're going to lift your right leg. So making us do some work, and our brains had to think about what we were doing. So it's also going to help improve that brain health. Lots of different ways that you can be physically active to meet these benefits. So let's go ahead and move forward. All right. So just a couple quick reminders when we're thinking about physical activity in general, is that we always want to remember to talk to our doctor or some type of a healthcare professional before we start a physical activity program. And if we have maybe some type of a health condition that we need to make sure that we're not going to make maybe a little bit worse by being physically active, we just want to make sure the doctor is giving us some proper guidelines that we can follow to make sure that we are being active but in a safe manner. But also remember to start slow and gradually increase what you're doing. So for example, if I never ran before and I decided that tomorrow I'm going to go out and run a marathon, I'm going to run 26 miles tomorrow, my body would not like me for the rest of the year probably, because it wasn't ready to run that marathon. So if I wanted to do that, maybe I would start by walking the block. And then I would add more time that I'm walking. Then eventually I would start running more and more until I could reach that goal. So just remember to start slow and just gradually add more as you go. But then last but not least, have fun. Physical activity is meant to have fun. When you're physically active, it helps you to feel better about yourself and just puts you in a better mood. So just have fun with what you're doing, and hopefully from some of these examples that I'll be sharing with you tonight, you can think of ways that you can have fun while you're being physically active. Okay, so let's get into the tips and tricks. So what can you do at home? So many fun things, right? So many fun things that you can do at home to be physically active. But it's really just thinking about, well, what is it that I have in the house that I could use to incorporate in the physical activity that I want to do. So I have the examples such as soup cans, water bottles, milk jugs. So if you wanted to do some strength training exercises, but you didn't have any dumbbells or weights that you could use, then find some water bottles or milk jugs. Make sure the cap is screwed on so you don't lose any of the liquid if it's in there. You don't want to clean that up. But make sure that that's screwed on. But you can use those as your weights. Or you could use it as a piece of equipment to do other exercises that you may want to include that I'll show you here in the couple next slides. Also, I have on the list a chair. Again, a lot of these things, you can always do them in a chair, but always make sure, I always tell this to everybody I'm working with when I'm doing different physical activity routines with them, is to make sure that they're not going to fall out of their chair. So their chair is stable, it's not going to move on them, so I'm always thinking about safety with that. I also have listed a ball or a frisbee or anything else you can think of that you could add to your physical activity routine. And I'll show you some things that you can incorporate a ball or a frisbee into as we get into the next slides. Another fun activity here that I just have listed down that I like to do are dance parties. Dance parties are easy if you like to dance. You can find your favorite CD or put on your favorite playlist. And let's say it's just a 3-minute song and you dance around for 3 minutes. Well, you've got 3 minutes out of that 20 minutes a day that you need to be doing for physical activity. You could get other people involved in it that are around your house to dance with you if they want to. Sometimes I get my dog to dance with me. I don't know if she likes it, but she does. But just ways to be active. One dance video that I like to use are the Dance Revolution videos on YouTube. And they have a wide variety of dances that you can follow. They have the steps right there that you can dance along to as well. But just one example of how you can maybe get an idea on the dances you'd want to do. All right, so here are some examples of ways to incorporate equipment into just the physical activity that you may be doing around your house. So here I've got, they're pictures of me, some older pictures, but doing a simple leg raise while holding a ball. In this picture, you can see that I'm holding a ball. The ball has handles. If you don't have a ball, and maybe it might be hard for you to grip a ball that doesn't have handles, that's where just a simple frisbee would come into play. You can easily grip that frisbee, and you can move it however you may want to move it when you're doing your activity. So in these pictures here, it's just a progression to where you can see the leg is extended out in front of me, the ball is at my chest, and then when I lift my leg, I lift the ball above my head. So again, you can incorporate, if you don't have a frisbee or a ball, grab a water bottle. Grab, I don't know, bean bags. If you have bean bags, just something to add to that physical activity to make it a little bit different than what you might normally be doing. All right, Jesse, go ahead and move to the next slide, please. Thank you. All right, so this one is pretty basic, but this is just an example of sit-ups. And sometimes we may not always want to be getting down onto the floor to do a sit-up. So I just wanted to put this in here as an alternative way to be doing sit-ups. So as you can see in the picture, I am seated towards the front of the chair with both feet flat on the floor and good posture, hands across the chest. And in the second picture, you see that I lean back, so my back touches the chair, and then I pull myself forward using my abdominal muscles. But again, something really simple you can do at home. And again, if you don't want to get onto the floor, you can just do it from a chair. So my point is, there are no excuses on why you can't be physically active. All right, let's move forward. All right, so this next one, I have 2 different exercises that you can kind of adapt to what you want to do. But the first one is I have a jump rope. And in this first picture, you can see that I'm holding a jump rope in each hand, and I have that jump rope kind of double looped. So maybe I'm really not feeling like actually jumping a rope that day. But by having those ropes in my hands, I'm still doing that motion of jumping a rope. I'm just not actually jumping it myself. I could march in place with my feet. I could do this standing or sitting, but there's just a wide variety of ways that you could incorporate jumping a rope. And jumping rope helps to increase our heart rate to where we could fall into that moderate to vigorous physical activity level as well. And then my second set of pictures here is just a simple chest press. So again, I just wanted to show an alternative way that you could be doing muscle strengthening exercises or these movements rather than just standing or sitting and just moving your arms back and forth. So whether holding that ball with handles, holding the frisbee, doing it, holding just a normal ball, maybe you have, again, those milk jugs or a water bottle to do those chest press movements. So again, just a couple more examples. Creative.
Thanks, Mom.
All right. So now we're getting into the fun stuff, at least what I think is fun. And as I said earlier, physical activity to me should be fun. And what's really great about my job is that I get to teach students how to help individuals have fun while they're being physically active. So we get to be creative with the games that we create and try to help people to increase their physical activity and improve their health. So these games that we're going to be showing you, I just want you to know that all of these games can be adapted to be completed in a chair. So again, if you're not feeling like you want to do this standing, you can do these different items from a chair as well. The movements that are shown in these different games that you're going to be seeing and I'll be talking about, you can change up those movements as much as you want. You don't have to do the movements that are suggested within those games. And then last but not least, going on with my theme here, is to make sure that you're being creative and having fun while you're doing these games as well. So let's get into the first game here, Jesse. All right, so the bag toss with an exercise. So we have somebody, you had mentioned someone has experience with this one?
Yes, so Lina made our bag toss. I will go ahead and pull that up real quick here, and then I will reshare the screen. Right. Oh. First one, hold on just a second. Oh my goodness. Share screen. Exit out of the PowerPoint real quick. There we go. Wait.
Exercise, which I just learned, and it's easy to do, and you just need a bag, a plastic bag, or you can use a scarf, or it's like something that you can catch. Okay, so this exercise is called bag toss exercise. So all you have to do is you have to squat down, make sure you use your knees. When you go down, you want to toss the bag. Well, the point is that you're supposed to toss the bag in the air as many times before it falls. So let me try to demonstrate that right now. Also, if you during this, you want to make sure your back is out. Because you don't want to be like in a ball. Because if it is a ball and you just throw it in the air, it just comes down straight. But if you take all the bag out, like this, you can toss it in the air and it comes down slowly. Well, it was supposed to, Okay, so here it goes. So the point is that you try to do as many as, it's high in my head, squats. As many squats you can do before this falls. So let's see how many I can do. Again, I just learned this, so it takes practice, like in everything we do. Okay, remember? I think the most I could do is doing 5 squats. I would love to see how many squats you did. Post how many squats you did in the comments below. That is it for my Wellness Wednesday. I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend. And see you next Wednesday. And remember, be happy, be healthy. Bye.
There you go.
Awesome. Thanks for playing that one, Jesse.
You're welcome. There we go. Let me make sure I can find
Okay.
where we were at. There it is.
All right, perfect. So bag toss with the exercise. She explained it perfectly on this website or this PowerPoint slide. It does have it. It has it broken down into how to do the steps. But like I said, I think she demonstrated it to a wonderful extent there. So bag toss with the exercise doesn't take a lot of room. Everybody's got at least one shopping bag around the house that they can toss up in the air and do some type of a movement. Again, it doesn't have to be a squat. If you want to do jumping jacks, if you want to run in place, you want to flap your arms like a chicken, go for it. Just try to catch that bag before it drops. All right, thanks, Jesse. Let's go to the next one.
This one. All right, ninja training. Let me get that one pulled up here real quick. This one was done by Luke.
All right.
Okay, share screen, share, optimize, and here we go.
Take a step back, like so.
Hi, my name is Luke. This is my sister Cecilia.
Hi.
We're going to demonstrate the ninja exercise.
So I'm going to be the leader for this video. And what we're going to start with is a karate chop. Now this is the regular version. I'm going to take my arm and extend it out. And when I do, Luke's going to jump back, take a big jump back, like so. Now this is the modified version. I'm going to extend my arm again. But when I do, he's going to take a step back, like so. Now that was the first karate chop. Now we're going to move to the knee chop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe my arm across his knees. And he's going to jump high into the air, like so. Now this is the modified version. When I swipe my arm again, he's going to take both his feet and just lift him up. There we go. Now for the side karate chop. I'm going to take my left arm, and when I extend it out, he's going to jump to the left. Very good. Now we're going to do it again for the modified version. I'm going to take my arm and extend it out again, but he's just going to take a big step to the left. Good. Now what we're going to do is basically the same thing, but the other side. I'm going to take my arm again and extend it out. He's going to hop again. Now we're going to do it again for the modified version. And basically it's a step. So you're going to step over. And you can do this until you get tired. Otherwise, have fun with it. And
change positions.
change position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Luke.
There you go.
Thanks.
Good job on the demonstrations. That was great. They showed it really well for the ninja training. For ninja training, I just came up with the name. I was trying to entertain a group of kids one day, and I just thought of, hey, let's do some ninja training because they were talking about ninjas, and this is what we came up with. But as you can see from the video, it's something that doesn't take a lot of room to do, and really 2 people is all that you would need to do that. You don't have to call it ninja training. You can have it be a superhero theme. You can have it be an animal theme, whatever kind of theme you would want to put with it, and you can add in different movements to that. But lots of variations that you could do with this ninja training game to be physically active. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Oh, the dice game. All right, let's get that one pulled up.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Jennings, your Kansas Health Messenger role model. Today, I'm going to show you how you can make exercise a fun game. This game is called the dice game. You can either do this game by yourself, or you can invite some of your family members or friends to join you. Today, I have Mom. First, write down on a piece of paper 6 different exercises you enjoy doing. Make sure you number them at 1 through 6. You can use your Fit 5 book for ideas. Next, you'll need dice for each person participating in the game. Each person will roll 1 die, and whatever number your die lands on, that is the exercise you will do from your list. Let's get straight. This dice will be for me, and this dice will be for Mom. So I have 6, so I will be doing 6 jumping jacks, and Mom got 1, so she will do 1 top jump. Ready? You can roll the dice as many times as you want, but make sure to do this game for at least 15 to 30 minutes to get a great workout. Thanks for watching, and have fun exercising.
Great job, Jennifer. Thank you for giving great instructions with the dice game. That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was a good one, Jennifer.
You are welcome. Very good. Well, again, it was explained wonderfully. You can see it laid out there on the screen, but Jennifer did a good job with that one too. So let's keep moving forward with those games.
All right, the Uno game.
All right.
This is the one that Tyler and I did.
Okay.
That's new.
Share screen.
Everyone, welcome. My name is Tyler Griswold. I am a president of Global Health Messenger for Special Olympic Kansas. I'm here with Jesse today. Today I'm showing you a Uno game workout. Now I'm going to show you, now grab a deck of Uno cards. Like this. Okay, now I'm creating a list. We have jumping jacks, crick, punches, push-ups, chair squat. If it's wild card, skip, or draw 2 or reverse, it's wall sit. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and draw a card, Tyler.
Okay, our card number is yellows 2. It is jumping jacks. We're doing 2.
Perfect.
Okay. Make sure screen. No. Okay, we're doing 2. Ready, go. 1, 2. Okay. I wish everyone enjoying this, I have a good day. If you finish the game, make sure if your card went out and have fun on this workout. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Nice job, Jesse. Good work. Good work.
Thank you.
And that brings up a really good point. I like that you guys did this virtually. With Tyler was in one place and Jesse, you were in another. All of these games that we're doing, you can, if you have a friend who doesn't live nearby or who you can't see right now personally, then if you're able, do this with them on Zoom or do it with them virtually and work out together, because these things, as we just saw, you guys can do together. All right. Thanks. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Circle game.
Okay, the circle game.
Alrighty. This one was done by Michael Mangum. He was not able to make it tonight.
All right.
Here we go.
My name is Michael. Today we are doing the circle game challenge. The first exercises reach down and try to touch your toes.
Then it goes to the next person.
It goes to the next person.
Okay, so we do this.
Then it goes to the third person. So, Michaela, you show us what your exercise is.
Stop. And the squat.
Then it goes back to the leader.
You do any more, or are we done? We are done.
All right, nice job with the circle game too. With the circle game, as you can see, you have one person starts, they do a movement, the next person does a movement, and you just keep adding those movements as you go. So again, if you have 3 people, you can do it. If you have 10, I've done it with 20 people before, and it gets a little crazy, but it's a lot of fun as well. And I think we might have just a couple minutes here where would anybody like to try the circle game virtually right now?
Yes.
All right. Luke, you're up for it. Tyler, Jennifer, would you be willing to play? Trevor, if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Or excuse me, Taverick, I'm sorry. But if you don't want to.
I'd love to.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to be the leader here. And so I'll do the first movement. And I'll just call out the person's name, all right, as we go that I see in the screen here. So I'll do the first movement. So everybody, let's lift your arms up in the air. Very good. And let's bring them back down. Okay, so let's see here. Tyler, let's have you do a movement.
Okay, like the arm across your chest.
All right, so everybody, let's do an arm across. Well,
We have to go up and then?
chest. I like to repeat, and then the other arm across the chest. And now let's put those 2 movements together. So let's reach up. Good, and bring it back down. Bring an arm across the chest. Good, and switch, arm across the chest. All right, wonderful. Taverick, do you want to do a movement?
Yes, I'd like to.
Okay, what movement would you like to do? Raise the arms 2 times. Perfect. So let's everybody raise our arms 2 times. So go 1. Good. 1 more. 2. So now let's put all 3 of those movements together. So let's raise our arms 1 time. Good. And down. Let's bring an arm across the chest. Stretch it out. And now let's go to the other arm across the chest. Good. Now we're going to raise our arms 2 times. So up and down, up and down. Perfect. All right. Jennifer, what movement would you like to do? All right. 2 punches?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, let's do 2 punches. 1, 2. Okay. So now let's put all of those together. So we lift our arms up and down. We do an arm stretch, come across, we switch, come across, switch, 2 arm raises. We go 1, 2, and now we have 2 punches. 1, 2. Awesome. All right, Luke, you're up.
Yeah, sit-ups in the chair.
Sit-ups in the chair. Nice. How many are we doing?
10.
10. Okay, everybody. We're gonna do 10 sit-ups in the chair. So we're gonna lean back and touch the back. Good. And come forward. Good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. 4 more. 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Okay, so now we have to do all of those again and finish with another 10 sit-ups. So let's start with those arm raises. We're gonna raise it up 1 time and back down. Bring the arm across the body. Good, and now we switch. Other arm, perfect. Now we do 2 arm raises. Good job for remembering. And now we do punches, 2 punches. And now let's do those 10 sit-ups. Here we go.
1,
1, 2, 3, 4. Good job, guys. Hope you're hoping to be physically active during this webinar. Is anybody counting? Because I stopped.
7.
Oh, that's 8,
That's
8.
9.
9,
9.
and 10.
Okay, awesome.
There we go.
All right, Jesse, you're up.
All right, we're gonna stand up. So you have to do 1 chair stand
Okay.
and come back down.
All right, so everybody will
End
just
it.
stand up.
Up and down.
Okay, so let's put all of those 6 movements together. So let's start with our arm raise. Let's bring it up and down, arm across the chest. Good, and now we switch, arm across the chest. Good, 2 arm raises. 1, 2. Now we have 2 punches. 1, 2. 10 sit-ups. Here we go.
The
1,
abs of steel by the end of the night, Luke.
Yep.
3, 4.
5,
Good job, good job.
6,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9, 10,
10.
Now we stand
and
up
up
and back down.
and down.
All right, good job, guys. Good work there. Okay, all right, thanks for playing along. I appreciate it. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, let's go ahead to that next slide.
Was that the end of the games?
Yeah, that was the last of the games. Okay, yeah. Okay, last of the games there. So hopefully you guys were able to, each of you, obviously you were able to do a game for the videos here, but hopefully you kind of learned some stuff from the games that we did as well, and maybe took some little tidbits as well. This is just a resource page. Some of you may already be familiar with some of these resources listed, but this is where I find some of my information for physical activity. So are you all familiar with the School of Strength from Special Olympics? All right.
It better be.
So with the School of Strength, if it's something you're not familiar with, these are hyperlinks. We don't need to bring them up tonight. But the School of Strength is a workout program that the WWE, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
I remember that.
Have you done it? Have you done it, Tyler?
Yeah, when I joined Global Health Manager, I do that.
Perfect. So they have a lot of videos, right? Some videos that you can do at home to exercise and things like that. So it's just a great resource. Yeah.
With forgot who's the lady's name. She's a wrestler.
Begins with a B.
It's not Nikki Bella.
Begins with a B.
Nikki. Oh, what's
Becky Lynch.
Thank
There
you.
it is.
Nikki Lynch. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So good job for remembering that one, guys. Excuse me. So that's one, excuse me, resource you could use for some physical activity at home. The Centers for Disease Control, that's just a website that has a lot of really great physical activity information. So if you're just looking for some general information on how to be active or just general knowledge on physical activity, that's a great link to go to as well. Then one of my favorite resources is the National Center on Health, Physical Activity, and Disability. And this one has a lot of great information on everything that's listed on this slide right here. So it has lots of information about physical activity that you can do at home, physical activity that you can do outside, and nutrition information, overall wellness information, various information about different disabilities. It's just a really, really great resource tool for everybody to use. Below it, I have a link that says 14 Weeks to a Healthier You. And it's just a 14-week program that the Center on Health, Physical Activity, and Disability has created. And again, it's focused on physical activity and healthy eating as well. But if you want to check those out, those links, you can just click on those links and it'll take you right there. All right, Jesse, you can move forward here. You know, we have 4 minutes left, so we can either do this or move to questions. What do you think? Okay.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on your screen here, I have a question of what is your favorite physical activity? So I'll be asking you, if you want to participate, you can. If you don't, that's okay. But I'd like you to tell us the name of the activity. Do you do it by yourself or with others? And where do you do this physical activity? So is it something that you do outside? Do you do it at home? Do you do it in your living room, at the playground, wherever? And if you want to, since we're a smaller group here, if you guys just want to share, we can go down the line. But if you don't want to share, that's okay as well. All right, so you have the name of your favorite physical activity. If you can't narrow it down, you can give us 2 of them. And it can be anything from swimming to going on walks to gardening, whatever that may be, because remember, physical activity is just not exercise. So this time, Jesse, we'll just start with you. What is your favorite physical activity?
Oh my goodness. I think I have 2 actually. Generally, I like to go for a run about every other day and try to get in somewhere between 2 and 4 miles. The second one is I keep a dumbbell next to my TV. So when I'm watching TV, I can say that I've exercised while I'm watching TV, which is helpful. So those are probably my 2 favorite. I'll go down the line here. Luke, what's yours?
What's my physical activity?
Yeah.
Like to work out. I like to eat some sushi. I like to play video games, and that's pretty much it.
Good. It sounded like you also had some recovery in there as well, right? With the playing video games?
Yeah.
So if you're overexhausted, yeah, good. Okay, Tyler, what do you think?
Let's see, I got 2 things I do. One, I go bowling every time for practicing. And then my second one, I like to play basketball with my teammates, like go run down the field, like make a hoop and run back and forth. That's part of running. I love running, Sometimes I do walking too. If my body said, okay, I'm getting tired, it's like, I need a break. And after my body said, okay, you feel good, come back, keep running. I love running too.
Oh. You go for a walk with, is it Olivia?
Yeah,
Yeah. How far do you and Olivia usually go?
I think around our neighborhood, like every time, like when she said, take a walk with me around 6 a.m. in the morning, we did 2 lap around the neighborhood.
There you go. Good, nice. Jennifer? Jennifer, you might have to get a little bit closer to your microphone.
I like doing powerlifting, doing flag football.
No, right now. I think he's meeting right now.
Um,
What position do you play in flag football, Taverick?
like between running back.
Running back.
Yes.
You must be pretty quick, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
And basketball.
And basketball. Awesome. Yeah. Jennifer, we'll come back to you. What is your favorite physical activity? Jennifer, can you unmute your mic? There you go.
I don't know. You like swimming, walking.
There you go. Good. Good. I always see you out in nature, Jennifer. Yeah. Awesome. All right, Dr. Covert, we'll pass it back to you. What is your favorite physical activity, Dr. Covert?
My favorite physical activity would be probably 2 things. Would also be running. I love to run. But then also it would include running with my dog or walking my dog as well. So we go on a lot of walks together. So it's always great to have that furry companion.
Nice. How far do you usually go?
Between 3 and 6, kind of depending on how my body feels that day. Like Tyler was saying, if I'm feeling kind of tired, I just will take a break and try to get more next time.
There you go. Awesome.
All right. Okay, let's just go on to the next slide. Next slide. Does anybody have any questions? I think we're good here.
Yeah. Guys, do you guys have any questions for Dr. Covert before we sign off for the night?
No.
No.
All right. Well, I hope you guys, as you can see on the screen, I want to thank you all so much for attending, and specifically thank you for helping to make those videos. Those came out awesome. I will ask if it's okay with all of you. I want Jesse to share those with me because that's really cool. But hopefully you have been able to learn at least one new thing. All right, hopefully you've learned one new thing that you can do to be physically active or something about physical activity. And I've included my contact information on this PowerPoint as well. But once again, thank you guys so much for spending your evening with me, and I've had a lot of fun.
Thank you, Dr. Covert, and thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Yeah.
You are
awesome.
Welcome.
Have a good evening, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.